You know, every place has a story, and this one does too. When the Army used this area, it was all destroyed. It was almost like it was barren. People came together and they started thinking of what can we do to restore this area. And a beautiful, beautiful thing happened. People with love in their hearts and care for the land came and restored this whole area as we see it today. And now life is flourishing here. You see the great blue herons, you know, they have a beautiful space, a beautiful home here. And there's eagles that come in this territory now. There's bears and there's cougar, and there are all kinds of beautiful plants. The rooted ones are flourishing in this area, offering so much for supporting a vibrant and an abundant life, you know, right here. It's absolutely miraculous how this has come to be.
It will never return to what it was before. I mean, there's a variety of reasons for that. Like, we used to be the floodplain of a lake as well as the Vedder River, and Sumas Lake was drained in the 20s, and everything changed drastically from what it would naturally be. But when it comes to restoration, we just want to do our best to restore functionality. I think we've done that to a great degree. We have over 150 different species of birds that are being documented here. We have multiple species at risk that seem like they're doing really well. Really, that's all we can ask for, is to have created and continue to maintain this habitat that lots of different animals seem to be happy to be in. So. Yeah, I think overall we've been quite successful.
So we're on a site that was used for the military for training. I think it used to be called the bridging area. There's a large constructed water body behind us that they used to do temporary bridges, and effectively we're here, as I recall, this was the parking lot. If you look at these trees, there's some that are older, the older cottonwoods, but most of them are since 2002, so it shows you how this little forest is recovered. This little trail was designed around the project so people could come safely and just hang out with fish and watch the salmon through the years. I think there was a study of the Olympic Peninsula. There was 20-something species of birds and mammals use salmon carcasses, even down to little birds like chickadees that you wouldn't expect if they have access to that food source. All are part of this ecology and how the salmon ecosystem works. It takes a lot to slow down, and really slow down. And I have noticed serious birders go really slow. And then, of course, just birds in general, the seasonality of their movements sort of anchor the seasons, just like salmon do. They make the year a year, not just a gray sameness, but something to look forward to as we get migratory birds in the fall, like we just heard. And when I drove here, you can see the trumpeter swans in all the fields right now.
So what we do is from beginning of November, they've extended it now to the end of April. We come out twice a week. We have 2 different teams. We watch the feeders.
So they gather all this information over years, and with so many different people reporting, it gives the experts a real good idea of what's happening with bird populations. when I retired, I spent 40 years working in the construction industry. If somebody would have said, well, 5 years from now, you're going to be a bird watcher, I'm a construction worker. I don't watch birds. I drink whiskey and smoke cigars, you know. And boy, I'm sure just absolutely thrilled that I got into this.
Well,
Who's on the suet log on the back?
Oh, it's a little downy.
Downy woodpecker
Downy
male.
woodpecker there.
Right on.
They've been hanging around a lot today.
And then that was 1, 2, 3 chickadees?
Yeah. Got it? Oh, there's another woodpecker.
That's the female.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So we've got 2. That's a little female. She's little, isn't she? It's a little one.
Wow, look at this, eh? Aka. Wow. Look at the swans over there, eh? The swans and the geese and the ducks. It's a rich ecosystem that supports, you know, so much vibrant life. It's amazing. Seeing all these birds here reminds me of how abundant, you know, life can be if we take care of the land like this place has been taken care of. This is what transformation looks like. Look at that, eh? Isn't that something else? Wow, a liftoff.
At some point, I don't know exactly how it happened, but something called associative nesting started taking place. And that's where the heron colony started nesting next to bald eagle's nests. And this sounds very counterintuitive because the bald eagle is their main predator. But what happens is the bald eagle is also fiercely territorial. It doesn't like other bald eagles encroaching in its space. The model is called predator protection. Unprotected colony, the survival rate is roughly 0.9 to 1 chicks per nest, roughly. In the protected colony, it's usually above 1. So it is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 chicks per nest, which is significantly higher. I like to call it the mafia model or mafia scheme because it's basically what's going on. Well, you're not offering your own chicks, you're offering your neighbors. That's the whole plan about it. So it's a dangerous game. And you're really hoping that it's not your own offspring. So it might be a sign that our wetlands are under a lot of stress, that some species have to go to such lengths. I mean, you can look behind us here. This all used to be Sumas Lake, and we need farmland, like that's a fact, and then we want to try and grow local and stuff like that, but we've also destroyed a lot of our wetlands, which means that, well, we don't have the same habitat. You can just look at the two sides of the dike. We have a thriving wetland in there, and we got farmland here. And both of them are important. We just need to figure out a balance. If we look at it now, yeah, most of our wetlands are protected. That's because they're the only ones left. We've filled them in, we've turned them into farmland, and like I said, you know, we need food, we need space for people here in the valley, but we also need to think long-term about how important these areas are and if we want them as a society.
Wow, look at this. Whoa, is this ever beautiful? But yet frightening. There's salmon here. Look at that. Look at that. Aren't they amazing? They've come to spawn, these dog salmon. We call them kwaloch in our language there. They've traveled a long ways. They come here to spawn and die. Wow, there's so many of them. And so that's why we do first salmon ceremonies every year in our territory. The older ones bring the young ones out to the water, and they put the bones back into the water, and they send love and gratitude and respect to the salmon. And they tell the salmon that we do this because we acknowledge you as relative. We do this because we respect and love you. We do this and we hope that you will continue your life cycle, you know, to go out from the headwaters, go out into the big ocean, become big and strong, and bring those rich nutrients to feed us, to feed the salmon, to feed the sturgeon, to feed the seals, to feed the eagles and the bears, so that your rich nutrients can bring this whole system, ecological system, from the headwaters all the way down to the big ocean. You'll continue to make this land strong, to keep us strong. So we thank you for all this generosity that you have, this sense of life purpose that you have, so that you can bring such richness, such goodness, you know, to everyone and everything around us. And so we carry on this duty, you know, this duty that we have to show this respect to you. That's all that we have to offer you. We don't have anything else to offer you except love, respect, and honor, you know, for what you do for everyone and everything. We've been left with what's inside of each and every one of us, and that is that ability to increase the value of what we have. We have it within us to take the courage that is needed to make different changes, to transform and change our way of living, our way of life, that would be more in harmony with the Mother Earth, instead of destroying Mother Earth, destroying biodiversity. We can do this. We have it in each and every one of us. Every human being has it. So that's the transformation that needs to take place, inside of human beings first. And then we'll see a change in the world, because we'll move and act and behave and feel differently. We have more in common with each other than we really think, and once we show the essence of who we are as human beings on this beautiful Mother Earth of ours, then we can work together. We can drop our differences. We can be more united, be more interconnected, and continue to shift and change the direction that humanity needs to go in order for us to restore the world, so that we can see and witness, you know, life flourishing, just like what happened here at the Blue Heron Reserve.